right, Jumpin' Jack Flash. It's a gas, 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 right? So Rolling Stones. This is a kind of a easy version of it. It's an arrangement, that where I go up into the high chords like that. That's more of the bass part in the song. Like the guitars are like, they're kind of doing like a sus chord. So this is really different than, I'm not trying to be authentic and show the exact Rolling Stones guitar parts. I'm sure there was more than one guitar on the track, overdubbed, either overdubbed or two guitars at once. There's a lot to learn with this. At the stage that we're at in my second rock book, in the first rock book, we started with root fifth chords that were just two strings. Like that. Now we're adding the pinky on the octave, so it's still just two notes like A and E, and then an A above that. So A, E, A is a root fifth chord. If you know me, you know I don't like the term power chords. I just think it's, I don't know. It's it's just not. It's not good music theory terminology. So it's a root, a fifth, and a root. So it's a root fifth chord. That's what real musicians call root fifth chords, not power chords. But that's a common term nowadays. It's so common. But I don't care really, okay? So it's now we're adding one more note to our root fifth chords. And that's what we kind of do in this book. Also, later on with Day Tripper, we'll do just root fifth chords, even though in the actual song there were probably full bar chords. And we will get into full bar chords by the end of this second book. So it's kind of like a little bit at a time as we build up our stamina, build up our strength with the left hand, and learn. But these chords, they're real chords that are used by real players. I mean, they're not baby chords or anything like that. So root fifth chords. Now the rhythm is another major thing that you're learning with this song. And I call it the 3 plus 3 plus 2 rhythm. 3 plus 3 plus 2. In an eighth note measure, you've got 8 eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and normally it's like on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Here you're accenting as if you're doing triplets. But when you think of 8 notes, how many times does 3 go into 8? 2 times with 2 notes left over. So you're kind of accenting as if it's triplets. Like you could count it like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And the proper count is actually 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this is a real common rhythm in British rock. It probably goes back to Chuck Berry songs. Chuck Berry was really into different kinds of rhythmic accents and offbeat things, and even Caribbean rhythms or island music a little bit. So, it probably comes from maybe a rumba, maybe a Cuban kind of thing, You hear this a lot, and especially it came out in English rock of the late 60s, early 70s, and but it all kind of comes back to Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry was really smart about rhythms. he really knew rhythms, and he admitted that he learned a lot of that from the big band jazz, like Glenn Miller, like where you'd have a sort of a kaleidoscope of 3 notes against 4 counts, like In the Mood. And so anyway, but and a lot of the blues artists like Freddie King, he would do really tricky offbeat things, and then wink at you like, hey, I bet you didn't think I could do that, and astounding kind of things, where he would suspend the rhythm for several measures. And but anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. I just want to emphasize this rhythm, and you can count it. When I teach it, I think the easiest way to count it is to think 3 plus 3 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you want to accent, pop, 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 pop. So you're staying on one chord for a whole measure of that rhythm. And then you've got a chord change on each one of those accents. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And make sure you just do 2 strums, before you go back to the home chord. And I like to slide up to that D chord. It's like you have to maybe work that out slowly if you're not used to doing that. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. So you have to hit the target chord on time, but you're kind of taking your time getting up there and sliding the sound, and it's really a nice sound, really cool, 3 times, and then just settles on this chord. Now it gets into just typical straight 8th note rhythm, but with some offbeat. You have this riff, and make sure with this riff that you're pretty active with your fingers. You don't want to just let everything ring together like that. You want to, and when you hit this double stop, this is 2 strings, just with a barred first finger. It's accented. It's almost like a horn section, like. Yeah, the third time you don't hit the double stops, but the trick there is to get back to that downbeat on an 8th note, So you might have to practice that quite a bit. You're just jumping, and you have to grab all 3 of these strings on a dime. It's you just have to just jump on it, right? So it's like also you're hitting 2 quarter notes, but notice I'm cutting the first one short and then letting the next one ring. It's kind of like a ball bouncing once, bump, bum. So bump, bum. And the rhythm, it's a little bit offbeat. It's 1, 2, rest, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, rest, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. I think it's really important to understand the rhythm well enough that you can count it. You could just hit, like one open string, and count it 1, 2, 3. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. And that's the rhythm of this riff. So it's very repetitious. You're doing it, I don't know, 3 times, 4 times, 4 times, I think. And then it goes into a straight beat where it's just straight 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and quarter note, eighth notes, and then all eighth notes. And then you go back to the rumba rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then on my ending, 3 and 4 and 1, cha cha cha, right? 1, cha cha cha. I don't think the Stones ended it with a cha 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 ending, but I kind of like it. You know, that's why I put it in this arrangement. You know, I always ask my students, what do we call that ending? And, oh, I don't know. You know, cha cha cha. Okay, it's a good tag, right? So enjoy this one, Jumpin' Jack Flash. Always listen to the original. As we get into more challenging songs, make sure that you don't forget to YouTube Rolling Stones Jumpin' Jack Flash and listen to them doing it, the original version. It's great. It's a beautiful song. And it was one of their early ones. And also a great version is the Texas blues man Johnny Winter. He did a heck of a version of Jumpin' Jack Flash in the band Johnny Winter and with Rick Derringer. That was sort of the pinnacle, the top of his career, I believe, or his fame. You know, he still had a great career as a blues man. You know, very serious blues later on, but he always did blues. I mean, he was always doing just great blues, but the Stones thing was the sort of the pinnacle of his rock and roll career with Hedger Winter and with Johnny Winter and Rick Derringer. And another good version of Jumpin' Jack Flash is the pianist Leon Russell. You know, Leon Russell did a great version of it with a lot of horns and a lot of background singers, and just did it up really big, you know, Jumpin' Jack Flash. So he had that southern drawl in his voice, you know, it's wonderful, you know. So enjoy this song. It's kind of a watered down version a little bit, but good things to learn that will add to your knowledge of rhythm, and also root fifth chords with an added note, and mixing all these things together, going from the rumba rhythm into a straight rhythm, and the riff. I wouldn't call it easy. It's getting into an intermediate level here. So have fun with that. All right. See you later.